that's basically it. Okay, so we'll start from the beginning.
Alright, good for you. Ooh, that was a nice stretch.
So in our class, the easiest stretch to do is basically a 90-degree stretch for your hamstrings. Your hamstrings will always indicate if you have a lower back pain or a problem for sciatica. You can have a bulging disc or a herniated disc, or if you had surgery and somebody lies on your intake form, this is a quick way to figure out if they have some sort of problem or they came from some sort of accident. So the first stretch we're going to do is a 90-degree stretch. So Instructor Laurel will lift the client's leg with ease because she's super strong. And all right, I'll edit that out. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. As you can see, it's a 90-degree stretch. So 90 degrees is straight up. It's like an L shape. She's very flexible. And then we bend the client's leg forward. Kneecap should be touching or heading towards the head. And right here, the client should feel a stretch in their hamstrings and their glutes. And so the next stretch is actually just going to be towards her shoulder, like kind of almost at a diagonal angle. This right here will stretch a little bit of the inguinal ligament in the inside of the leg or medial side of the leg. And this will let you know if somebody has good hip rotation or if they're lying on their intake form as well, saying they don't have any hip problems. But this, someone will always be either clenching their teeth or clenching their hands, but she is perfect. And this is what we're going to learn in the class of how to actually look at the muscles that are being stretched and see if somebody is actually a good candidate for stretching, because not everybody is good for dynamic type of stretching. This is like a now we're going to test the range of motion for our hip joint to really go in like a 360 degree or just different diagonal areas to where she has no restrictions for the rotation. And we're going to lift the leg, and all we're going to do is bend the leg while in the air. And we're going to do those nice hip rotations. Nice and circly. And see, right here, if she goes in, right there, it should be a pain point. It should be to where if somebody does have a hip flexor problem or has arthritic bones or degenerative disc in their lower back or spine, yes, inward, that will always show you that, hey, I'm hurting. You'll see somebody's hands clench or teeth clench or eyes blinking, heavy breathing. You'll know when your client is in pain. But they should mimic a pain if they do have one of those conditions at this point right here. But if they don't, they're fine. So this is why we test the range of motion. We're back, and now we're going to check our hip flexors once again to see if we have any type of hip restrictions, and we really want to see our range of motion and see how flexible we are and how flexible we can take them into dynamic stretching. So this is just another test on how we're going to stretch the hip area. So first we're going to bring the leg up, and then we're going to bend the knee. It's going to go all the way to the floor or to the table, and we're going to do some pulls for that acetabulum. The acetabulum gets stuck in the hip joint or hip socket and doesn't allow you for external rotation. So when Jean-Claude Van Damme was doing that side roundhouse kick or whatever it was back in the day in the 80s movies, he was the only one that could kind of do those splits with no problem. His acetabulum and pectineus in the front were very, very loose. So you're just pulling on the leg and that hip joint comes out of the socket. Perfect. So then after that, we're going to do a cross stretch. It's pretty much just going to be for your glutes and your hip area or your hip flexors, deep six muscles as well, and lower back. And so see how her hips rotate all the way to the opposite side of the table. She has a good range of motion. We can do dynamic stretching on her. And this is how you would test for your lower back, hip area, and maybe even knee socket or knee joints. Because if you can do this on anybody, then they're a good candidate for stretching. Alright, so we're back, and we're going to do a stretch where this is more of a dynamic stretch to where it's going to be a frog woman or frog man type of position where, you know, you're about to, ribbit, you're about to play leapfrog, all that good stuff, jump over somebody. This will test your hips to see if you're very flexible to even play that game. Because as adults, you probably tried to play leapfrog and jumped on the person's back and fell on the person's back because you thought you could just springboard forward. This is a good move to show your hip flexibility. So what we're going to do is take the leg straight up and then bend it on the table. Yep. And then now we're going to bend her leg out to a nice butterfly position or figure four or pretzel, whatever move you want to say it is. And then the foot we're going to bring out to the table. It's going to go into our leg or hip. If you're a female and you have male clients, it might be good just to put it into the leg. Or if you know your client, you can still put it into your hip. I'm just giving you a warning. And as you can see how Instructor Laurel, she moved forward, put both hands on the opposite leg, because the leg is trying to raise up. It's trying to go with this leg. Because remember, the pectineus muscles, gracilis, as you can see, she moved forward. That allows the hamstrings to stretch, the glutes to stretch, hip flexors to stretch. It's just a really good stretch. As she's coming off the table, she holds one hand to keep her steady on the table. And that's what you're going to learn in class about how to actually do a dynamic stretch, because you already went through the range of motion. And so if the range of motion is good, then guess what? You can do these type of stretches. And man, let me tell you, the things that can happen. Okay, that was good. I'm going too far. Jesus. So, or opposite arms.
Yeah.
You tell her to relax. I got you.
Sorry.
It's okay. And so this foot, when I step back on this foot, all I'm doing is leaning my weight into it. And it's just a pre-stretch just to see if they have shoulder issues. Because some people lie and say, oh, I don't have any shoulder. I don't have root.
And their arm winds up over there.
And they be screaming, right? I'm like, oh no, you're hurting. I'm barely pulling you right here. You're talking about, ow, or you're blinking. Yeah, you lied on you can take. I know you. Because this will hurt like hell, because it's pulling right on that acromion process. So that acromion process, if you got shoulder impingements, it hurts like hell. And so just pulling somebody right here, they should be like screaming. But if not, it's just cool. And I'm just testing to see the arm. It's not even the back yet. Yeah. This is just basically seeing if they're lying. So from here, I'm going to raise the arm a little bit, across the chest, then go kind of to the clavicle. Because you never want like on top of the breast, or even for men, it feels weird. Like, oh man, it kind of hurts. So I kind of go right in front of the chest. This is just a little pull. This hand goes right underneath. And now it assists me on coming over. I switch my position because if I sit here, she kick me, you know.
Right over the giddies.
But then you gotta watch the other hand, right? So this knee is on the table. This arm comes to the back. This hand holds. So this arm, all I'm going to do is bend her this way. Okay. Now, all I'm going to do is keep on bending over. And that way she won't fall off the table. So she won't feel like, hey, where the hell are we going? Because her body's still on the table, but this side is closer to falling off. But she won't. Is that too much of a stretch?
No.
Okay. If you want more of a back stretch, just go like kind of middle, hold, and then push down.
Oh, yeah, that feels good. Open up the table. Just to see if their arms are movable. Most guys, it's gonna be like real stuck. But because they're heavy, we're heavy. So that's why I always put that back and just lean. Instead of trying to muscle it, some people will try to muscle and pull through. You're gonna yank something out.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, upper body is heavy. Legs are light, but upper body is all our center of gravity is on top. But see, you don't have to. I was just saying, like for a male, I'm going to explain to you, like, look, this is how you hold it for females. Because even for a male might get handsy. You're still close. You know what I mean? His hands forward.
Trust me, especially before I had some men trying to get me. Trying to be all
Oops.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's
You okay here?
Yep.
You feeling that stretch?
Oh yeah.
cool.
Oh.
And throw me off.
And for our last up top stretch, because we're laying up before laying supine. And this is just stretch out those gluteus minimus, gluteus maximus, and a little bit of, let's say, Q. That's bad of a stretch.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not bad at all. This is the kind of stuff you're supposed to do every day?
No, not every day. Just maybe every other day. Or if you have a stretch therapist, I'll say twice a week. Because normally insurance will cover it. And so they'll say, hey, come in Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So this is basically recovery for the athletes or anybody who has the insurance that will pay for it. It's worth coming in twice a week. It's not 3 times.
Oh,
Like Monday,
okay.
Wednesday, Friday.
Actually, now I do.
Don't rub it in.
Too much.
No.
So this, all I did was put my hands and I bent her knee this way. It gets the underneath butt muscles like, wow, what the hell is a difference? It's a different stretch.
Underneath butt muscles.
You know, all you do is go into the side. It's just so flexible. She's good. She's opening up, everything is
Thank
working.
goodness, because I thought I was a little tighty.
Oh, wait, you just said.
And it's like the hand is going to go on top of the kneecap right away. Yep. And you're just going to kind of bend. It's going to go this way. Yep.
Oh, okay.
And then you're just going to rotate out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep. And all I did was bring it up again, like almost like a circle. Perfect.
Okay.
Because it's almost like you're taking this leg and really kind of bending it towards it. She'll let you know when it's too much. You'll feel like it's a restriction. It's like, oh, they can heal even more.
Oh, it's that.
Alright.
Yeah, you can do it even more.
See? Right, because it feels restricted, doesn't it? It's like, oh, I can't go any further, but it feels, that's how stuck
Wow.
we are. But it feels good underneath.
And the other one you just said. This.
Well, you don't have
Actually,
to.
you know what?
Yeah, you don't have to do it like that. Yeah, either one. Just that side.
You feel it as much as the other side?
And then you can actually go down, like way down to the ground and take her legs to the ground. She's not gonna fall off.
I'll hold on to
Yeah,
it.
hold on. Yeah.
So here's okay.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just that back, the lower spine.
You can drop it down as long as you can go down that
There
way.
you go. Oh, flexible. See, I'm nowhere, you know, I'd have stopped the lump like here, like, it feels good. It's just I know my limits.
It feels good. It feels so good.
Switch back
So
over to the
let's
middle.
switch back here. We're gonna scoot towards the
The middle.
Yeah, we stretched it way off the table. But just a little bit more.
Sure.
We can do it more. So the feet, both hands on the feet, just going down. Not too much. Or not too bad.
Not bad at all.
Or you can do singles and then just press through. Not too much.
Nope, not at all.
High heels and all that good stuff. Oh, yeah, stretch out those cubital bone or tallest bone, cubital. Not so much the navicular, the navicular's on the side. And you just stretch out your ankles as well. And so just straighten out the legs a little bit. Go inward, stretch out those. That ace tapping again. So somebody who's just pigeon-toed. If you're pigeon-toed, don't do the opposite. So you just stretch out.
I think that's good.
They're not knee or pigeon-toed. Okay, so let me stop this around. Okay, so now we're gonna flip on over. But that was just some special class. This is like a million stretches, trust me. The stretch class would probably last 2 to 3 days. Maybe just 2 days, because we all have lives. They have like, you know what I mean? I don't want stuff to like, yeah, you gotta rent a hotel room for more than 2. Even 1 day is enough. Like you sleep overnight, And then the next morning coming for the class, fly home. That should be good. I don't want people, unless you got money,
Mhm.
it's okay. But for most of us, we're just working adults. Like, if I got kids at home, I gotta feed them little grumpies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mommy is a come home.
Feed 'em.
So now we're gonna flip on over. And the back strip, we're only gonna do like 2.
No
Mainly
problem.
like the front, because people love the front leg stuff.
I love getting these